Have you ever felt like life just stopped feeling real? You scroll through your feed, you laugh at something, maybe you go out, maybe you even achieve something. And yet, when you're alone, there's this quiet numbness inside. That subtle, invisible emptiness that no one talks about, but everyone feels. Stay until the end, because once you understand where that emptiness really comes from, you'll know something most people never figure out. And it'll change the way you see everything. We live in the most connected time in human history. And yet we've never been more disconnected, not just from others, but from ourselves. Everything around you is designed to make you feel, but not to make you care. It's constant noise, emotion without meaning, stimulation without purpose. We've replaced depth with dopamine. Every tap, every click, every like, a tiny burst of pleasure that fades in seconds. And like any drug, the more you consume, the less it satisfies. You scroll to feel something, but the more you scroll, the emptier you become. The world has learned how to sell you happiness, not through truth, but through distraction. You're told you can have anything you want, but nobody tells you what's actually worth wanting. We think we're living, but most of us are just numbing ourselves. Comfort has become the cage. Every notification, every reward, every little ding. It's a tiny reminder that you exist. But existence isn't life. Existing is breathing, working, surviving. Living is something deeper. It's the ability to feel meaning. And meaning requires friction. It requires effort. It requires pain. The paradox of modern life is this: the more we avoid discomfort, the less alive we feel. Think about how things used to be. Before constant entertainment, before endless stimulation, life was slower, quieter, and because it was quieter, meaning had space to grow. People didn't chase moments, they built them. Now everything is instant. Music, movies, attention, validation, all disposable. You don't have to commit to anything. You just swipe to the next thing that feels good for 5 seconds. Pleasure without purpose always turns to pain. That's why after the laughter fades, after the binge ends, after the dopamine hits stop working, you feel that strange ache inside. It's your soul reminding you that you were made for something more than consumption. You see, meaning doesn't come from pleasure, it comes from participation, from struggle, from sacrifice. Everything real requires effort. Love, faith, discipline, creation. All of them demand that you give a piece of yourself. And that's exactly why modern life feels empty. We've built a world that rewards comfort and punishes depth. We've become a culture of consumers instead of creators. We consume experiences, emotions, even other people. We scroll through life the way we scroll through content, quickly, carelessly, endlessly. We want to feel something without earning it, and when everything is available instantly, nothing feels valuable anymore. We've confused stimulation with satisfaction, and that's why we're restless, anxious, tired, and numb all at once. We are the most entertained generation in history, and yet the most bored. There's a reason people today are obsessed with nostalgia. Old music, old movies, old aesthetics. It's not just about the style, it's about the sincerity. We miss when things meant something. We miss effort. We miss soul. Because in a world built on simulation, sincerity feels like rebellion. Everything today is designed to imitate life, but not to be life. AI voices, fake smiles, algorithmic art, synthetic love. Everything is optimized to keep us stimulated, not fulfilled. And deep down we know it. That's why even when everything looks perfect, something still feels off. Because perfection without purpose feels hollow. We live in what philosophers call the post-truth age. It's not that truth disappeared, it's that people stopped caring about it. The only thing that matters now is how something makes us feel, not whether it's real. And when feeling becomes more important than truth, reality itself starts to crumble. We curate our lives for others, polishing every flaw, hiding every weakness, until our identities become performances. We trade authenticity for attention, and attention becomes the new currency of worth. But attention doesn't equal love, and love, real love, requires vulnerability, patience, and presence. All the things modern life teaches us to avoid. We think we're chasing happiness, but we're really just running from silence. Because silence forces us to face ourselves, and many of us don't like what we'd find there. So we drown it out with music, with screens, with endless noise. We stay busy because being still feels unbearable. But here's the truth. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is where you meet your soul. You have to be alone long enough to hear the voice inside that's been whispering under all the noise. That voice that says, you were made for more than this. When was the last time you truly felt awe? Not excitement, not pleasure, awe. The kind that stops your breath for a second. The kind that reminds you the world is vast, mysterious, and sacred. That feeling is rare now because awe requires attention, and attention requires silence. But we traded silence for stimulation. We traded awe for algorithms. And that's why life feels smaller. The emptiness you feel isn't proof that something's wrong with you. It's proof that you're still capable of feeling what's missing. You were not made for endless distraction. You were made for depth, for purpose, for meaning. And meaning can't be delivered through a screen. You have to create it through work, through love, through sacrifice. Every meaningful thing you'll ever experience will demand a part of you. That's the price of authenticity. And that's what makes it sacred. But how do you start finding meaning again? The answer isn't to delete everything or escape the world or live in a cave. The answer is to start living intentionally, to stop consuming without thinking, to start choosing what you give your attention to, because attention is the purest form of love. Whatever you give your attention to, you give your life to. If you fill your mind with noise, don't be surprised when you can't hear your soul. But if you fill it with truth, beauty, silence, and struggle, meaning will start to grow again. You can start small. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you speak, be honest. When you rest, rest deeply. When you pray, mean it. You don't have to fix the world. You just have to stop running from yourself, because the world changes the moment you start living like your soul matters. This emptiness we all feel, it's not the end, it's the invitation. It's the space where real meaning can finally take root. And if you stay with it long enough, if you stop trying to fill it with the next quick hit of pleasure, you'll discover that the emptiness itself becomes a doorway back to reality, back to truth, back to God. The world wants you numb. Because numb people don't resist. Numb people don't think. Numb people don't love. But you're not numb. You're waking up. And that ache inside you is proof that your heart still works. When you finally stop running, stop scrolling, stop chasing noise, you'll notice something strange. The silence isn't empty anymore. It's alive. And maybe, just maybe, that's what feeling real actually means.